My brother Rob and I own the business. We grew up in Dartown, both Talawanda graduates. Um, I worked my first landscaping job in the summer of 1986 after I graduated high school. Decided I liked the work and transferred from Miami to Eastern Kentucky University to get a degree in horticulture. My brother went to Miami and got an associate's degree in accounting. And we started the business in 1991. It started out as just a landscaping company and nothing more. We found that it was inconvenient to run to Cincinnati to pick up plants for our job, so we started carrying a little bit more plants each year to kind of get volume discounts on shipping and just the convenience of having them here. Eventually that continued to grow up into more nursery stock. And then we added Kevin Wilson to our staff early on to care for the plants. He also has a degree in horticulture and is just, most of you probably know him if you've been here too. And he is just a plant wizard. So he's been with us ever since. And so that's where we kind of went from a landscaping place to a nursery. We also hired Mike Watkins, who still works for us as well. And he helped us expand our landscape operations to do more additional hardscapes and stonework, patios, retaining walls, that sort of thing. And both of those gentlemen are still with us, both over 25 years now. So now having the retail nursery created a demand for annual flowers, which we had shipped in, but we decided that we needed to build a greenhouse. And in 2006, Bill Hooven used to have Hooven's greenhouse out on Brown Road that everybody knew and shopped at. He retired, and that created a void in town for annual flowers. So he partnered with us for a few years and helped us build our greenhouse. And really, Bill helped launch us so much more involved in the retail garden center than we ever dreamed possible. And we owe a lot to Bill for helping us build those greenhouses. Also at that time, that increased demand for annual flowers also made more demand for accessories and decor, gardening gifts, and all manner of things like that. People just started asking for things that we had never carried. So in 2007, we built a greenhouse and a small store here at the farm. And that's when Kathy's sister Susan, who is also married to Kevin, worked for us for several years in that time period too, when we were expanding and managed the store and really helped us grow quite a bit then too. We started hosting Chamber of Commerce business after hours every Christmas, and those turned into just huge parties every year. I'm sure some of you may have been at some of those. They were a lot of fun, and we became more involved in the community, and that's when it actually seemed like a real, quote unquote, real business at that point. So it continued to grow, but we were out here headed towards Bath, Indiana. Unless you go to Brookville Lake, there's really no reason to just happen to drive by here. I had always wanted to be in town, just didn't have a good way to do it. We had looked at places on College Corner Pike, the Spring Street Treats location when it was empty, but it was so small. The lot where Fifth Third Bank eventually went in, we looked at that when it was still empty. just nothing really suited us well and didn't really fit. So our growth kind of got limited here at the farm, just because of the traffic concerns and everything. Um, a lot of people, even after 15, 20 years in business, still didn't know we actually had a store because they just hadn't driven by. And last year, the Whistle Stop became available. The Hansels, who have owned and run that for years, uh, just weren't doing as well in the pet food business, which was really their main product line. Just kind of lost market share due to online sales and that sort of thing. So they were ready to retire. They had an opportunity at selling their property, and that fell through, just with the the plans for the property. So we started renting that property from them January 1st this last year. We got a lot of help from the city. They really wanted that property to succeed. So they helped guide us through the conditional use process to expand the uses for the property in a retail manner. We're the first of this kind of business in the city limits that has the kind of outdoor sales area we do, and the type of product offerings that has never been in town before. So they had to make some special exceptions for us for several different things, just the nature of our business that they haven't dealt with before. So they've just been great to work with. So we had to build a fence around the place because we're right by the railroad tracks, and also obviously security, being right so close to uptown and in student housing. So we invested a lot in a fence, totally remodeled the inside of the store area. It had drop ceilings and fluorescent lights. We raised the ceilings up, stripped everything down, opened a window that had been sealed off, and just made some big changes inside. Let's see. Oh, where the grain bins were behind the old mill building. The old mill building is condemned. We're not allowed to use it. But behind that is where all the concrete pads were that the grain bins sat upon. We are using those as topsoil and mulch bins, so we can carry all of our bulk products there too. We will be expanding that to offer different types of gravels and additional types of mulch and that sort of thing there too. Our current situation, being our first year there, and it was a strange year due to COVID period, and being our first year in a new location, we don't know what to think. We have no benchmark to compare to, other than being out here in the country. Our sales have increased, across the board dramatically just because of location. But we also don't know if sales are increasing because people who are gardening who've never gardened before in their lives, due to COVID. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do. So a lot of people are staying home and growing their own food, growing flowers, skipping a vacation, and taking care of their yards and that sort of thing. So we don't have any way of judging, is this the way it's going to be sales wise forever, or is it a special year due to COVID? We just don't know. So, but we're riding with it. We're trying to keep up. Some of the things that we want to achieve there, obviously more exposure for our business, but we really have enjoyed being in town. Having neighbors close by, having people walk by, families that live in the neighborhood, they walk through, we open our gates for them, and they walk through and kind of enjoy whatever we've got out on display that's blooming, and kids play in the nursery and that sort of thing. It's just a lot more of a fun and interactive space being in town than it was here at the farm. Not that we didn't have that at the farm, but there's just more people there. We do encourage loitering. People come and hang around. We're going to add benches and seating areas and that sort of thing. It just feels good in the neighborhood there. The college kids that are around us, we get no trouble from them at all. We had a lot of people that said, oh, you're just going to have all these problems with the college kids living right in your neighborhood. But to be honest, they come in, they're great customers. They keep an eye out for us. We keep an eye out for them. You know, we let them know we have security cameras. We've added some lighting that they didn't have before. So we're trying to help out the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is helping us out. It's really nice. We also have across the street in the Junction House building, our friend Jenny Maddox has always had a massage therapy business there, and she's now opened a little clothing boutique with you know, kind of unique and vintage clothing, snazzy boutique. So we hope that we're helping the neighborhood get more activity, and hopefully we can get some other businesses in there. We've heard that there may be a technology hub going into the old food services building, or possibly a microbrewery. There are a lot of discussions about something happening there, and we welcome and look forward to all that too. And of course, right up the street, we have the Community Arts Center that everybody's familiar with. They're expanding, and they now have the amphitheater in the back corner that we can see from our parking lot. So we're looking forward to having COVID over with, so we can do shared events with them, and you know, have special hours. You know, if they're having a big event, we can stay open late and kind of offer something to get people strolling around the neighborhood. So, you know, it's been a very positive experience moving into town and expanding. It can be a little scary. There's a lot of overhead costs that you know, we expected, but it's everything is a little uneasy because of COVID, but overall it's been a good experience. That's really all I have. Does anybody have questions or anything? I'd be happy to answer.